Welcome to episode 16 of Rating Your Nitro Type Profiles. Today I will be rating 10 Nitro Type profiles using a rubric that I'll post on screen. The account with the highest score will win $2 million of Nitro Type cash. I will also use a random number generator to select 3 accounts from today to win an additional $500,000 of Nitro Type cash. If you have not entered already, I highly recommend you do, because as I just mentioned, even if you don't win, you still get a pretty good chance for some Nitro Type cash. I will link the instructions for entering the profile rating contest in the description of this video. I'll also link a video that explains how to enter the current Nitro Type cash giveaway I have going on. It ends the 31st of March, 2024. Let's get started with our first response. The first response for today is from Snoozy YouTube. They think the best thing about their Nitro Type profile is their money and cars. They think the worst thing about their Nitro Type profile is the amount of races they have. And if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to have more Nitro Type cash. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Snoozy YouTube's Nitro Type profile. Let's get started. They have an average words per minute of 74 with a high of 239. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 15,862. That will give them 1 point. They joined October 21st, 2020, which will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together. That will give them 1 point. They have 229 cars, which will give them 1.5 points. And as we can see, it is very, very well organized. I really like it when people color coordinate their garage like this. It just looks very nice. So 2 points for organization for a total of 7 points. The next response for today is from Unicorn Typer 88. They think the best thing about their Nitro Type profile is the amount of cars they have and how they're organized. They think the worst thing about their Nitro Type profile is their race count. And if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to have a top 50 team tag. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Unicorn Typer 88's Nitro Type profile. Let's get started with their words per minute average, which is 76 with a high of 95. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 9,754, which will give them half a point. They joined October 8th, 2019, which will give them 1 point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together. The sparkles on the car kind of match the trail quite nicely, so we'll give you 1 point there. They have 148 total cars, which will give them 1 point. And it's pretty well organized, so you can see again that color coordination thing in this profile as well. It looks good, so we'll give you 2 points for organization for a total of 6.5 points. The next response for today is from Lose, Win, Repeat. They think the best thing about their Nitro Type profile is their #1 team. They think the worst thing about their Nitro Type profile is that their username isn't the greatest. And if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to have more variety of cars. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Lose, Win, Repeat's Nitro Type profile. They have a words per minute average of 133 with a high of 185. Very nice, that will give them 1.5 points. They have a race count of 32,964, which will give them 1.5 points. They joined August 7th, 2023, so not terribly long ago. That will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go nicely together. No particular component of either one matches the other, but they do look good, so we'll give you 1 point there. They have 90 total cars, which will give them 1 point. And as we can see, there is some organization to it. It does look nice. I kind of like how they arrange some stuff down here. I would encourage with all these garage sections to use them and arrange your cars nicely, because you have a ton of sections with that Infinity Garage hack or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think you could expand the garage further, but it doesn't look too bad. 2 points of organization for a total of 7.5 points. The next response for today is from Antflame. They think the best thing about their Nitro Type profile is their cars and money. They think the worst thing about their Nitro Type profile is that they have perfected its iconic awesomeness, and if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd want to have more money and more legendary cars. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Antflame's Nitro Type profile. Let's get started. They have a words per minute average of 42 with a high of 67, which will give them half a point. They have a race count of 2,682. That will give them half a point. They joined October 22nd, 2023, which will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together, probably the best we've seen so far today. We can see the bat theme of the car, that's the Batmobile, paired with the bat themed trail. Just looks very nice, one of my favorite combos that I've seen so far. Good job, 1 point for that. 58 total cars, which will give them half a point, and we can see it's very well organized. If I had the Infinity Garage hack, this is what I would do with it. I'd spread all of the cars out quite nicely. I think they did a great job. 2 points of organization for a total of 5 points. The next response for today is from Wolfie YouTube. They think the best thing about their Nitro Type profile is their Nitro Type cash and races. They think the worst thing about their Nitro Type profile is their rare cars. And if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to have the Nitro Pack and more rare cars. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Wolfie YouTube's Nitro Type profile. Let's get started. They have a words per minute average of 66 with a high of 230. That will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 257,517 total races, which is a lot of races. That will give them 2 points. They joined August 10th, 2016, so a fair bit of time ago at this point. That will give them 1 point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together. Nothing that particularly matches, but again, it looks good. That will give them 1 point. They have 300 cars, which will give them 1.5 points. It's quite a bit of cars. And it is pretty well organized. We can see everything's arranged by color, alternating bands of blue and green, and then we can see the rest of it here is empty. So yeah, good job on organization. That will give you 2 points of organization, and because you had 257,517 total races, that gets an extra bonus point for a total of 9.5 points. Very nice job. The next response for today is from Snuffy. They think the best thing about their profile is their race count. They think the worst thing about their Nitro type profile is that at the time they no longer had gold, and if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd want to regain gold and reorganize their garage. Alright, let's move on to your profile. I am here at Snuffy's Nitro type profile. They've actually been a long time viewer of the channel, so it's nice to see them on here. Let's get started. They have a words per minute average of 96 with a high of 121. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 19,920 total races. That will give them 1 point. They joined November 12th, 2019, so a decent bit of time ago. That will give them 1 point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together with the blue of the snowflakes matching the blue of the car pretty nicely. That will give them 1 point. They have 295 total cars, which is a lot of cars. That will give them 1.5 points. And it is very well organized. I kind of like what they did here, where they arrange it. They don't paint everything the same color, which I think sometimes can make cars stand out less. Overall, very nice job organizing the garage. 2 points for organization for a total of 7.5 points. The next response for today is from Join Team for Cash. They think the best thing about their Nitro type profile is their races. They think the worst thing about their Nitro type profile is their date joined. And if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to change their speed. Alright, let's move on to your profile. I am here at Join Team for Cash's Nitro type profile. Let's get started. They have a words per minute average of 67 with a high of 101. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 12,929 total races. That will give them 1 point. They joined February 24th, 2022, so not terribly long ago. That will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go decently together. It's not something I would personally equip, but I don't think it looks too bad either, and I'm not very picky on this category considering it is pretty subjective, so they'll get 1 point for this category. They have 126 total cars, which will give them 1 point. And as we can see, it's decently well organized. I like how they arranged it. They didn't paint everything the same color, but again, like I just said in the last profile, that's not necessarily required. It looks good. I think they did a good job. 2 points for organization for a total of 6.5 points. The next response for today is from Mr. Perfect YouTube. They think the best thing about their Nitro type profile is their top 100 racer badge. They think the worst thing about their Nitro type profile is that they're still missing some cars, and if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd want to make it look more like mine. Thank you, I'll take that as a compliment. Let's move on to your profile. I am here at Mr. Perfect YouTube's Nitro type profile. Let's get started with their words per minute average of 94 with a high of 143. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 84,572 total races. That's quite a bit of races. That will give them 2 points. They joined September 7th, 2021, which will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go very nicely together, nothing too complicated going on, and I like it that way. That will give them 1 point. They have 239 total cars, which will give them 1.5 points. And it is pretty well organized. We can see it's actually nicely arranged, nicely painted. It looks very good. We'll give them 2 points for that, for a total of 9 points. The next response for today is from Kid Typer. They think the best thing about their Nitro type profile is their Nitro type gold, their cash, their sending limit, and the fact that they're a former top 3 Nitro Math team owner. Very nice. They think that the worst thing about their Nitro type profile is the fact that they do not have lifetime gold, and if they'd like to change one thing about their profile, they'd want to change it to lifetime gold. Fair enough, let's move on to your profile. I am here at Kid Typer's Nitro type profile. Let's get started. They have a words per minute average of 96 with a high of 145. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 26,686 total races. That will give them 1.5 points. They joined September 23rd, 2020, which will give them half a point. Their car and their truck go nicely together. The purple in the trail actually does match the purple in the car pretty closely, so good job there. That will give you 1 point. They have 219 total cars, which will give them 1.5 points. And it's pretty well organized. We can see it's all painted this nice purple. We got a little bit of green and yellow in here. It looks good. Let me just get scrolled back up to the top here. Alright, 2 points of organization for a total of 7.5 points. Good job. And the last response for today is from Spooky. They think the best thing about their Nitro type profile is the fact that it's pretty organized. They think the worst thing about their Nitro type profile is the fact that their garage isn't that large, and if they could change one thing about their profile right now, they'd like to have more cars. Alright, let's move on to rate your profile. I am here at Spooky's Nitro type profile, the last profile for today's episode. Let's get started with their word sprint at average, which is 93, with a high of 120. Very nice, that will give them 1 point. They have a race count of 8,810, which will give them half a point. They joined September 29th, 2022, so not all that long ago. That will give them half a point. Their car and their truck are very nicely together. The green in both the trail and the car look pretty good together, which will give them 1 point. They have a garage score of 1 because they have 138 total cars. And as we can see, it's nicely organized. Nothing too crazy going on, but it does look quite nice. That will give them 2 points for a total of 6 points. So today's winner is Wolfie YouTube with a score of 9.5. Congratulations, I'll be right back with your $2 million of Nitro type cash. And I have sent them their cash. And now it is time to choose the 3 random winners for today. Each one of these accounts will be winning $500,000 of Nitro type cash. I have them in a list this time. It's a little bit easier to keep track of compared to just having all 10 of the profiles open in Chrome. It's just easier to keep track of who actually won, because there's a number associated. These are in the order the people entered, so everything is totally fair. Let's get started. I'll generate 3 numbers. So we have 5, so I'll highlight 5 with maybe like a gray. And we've got 6. We'll do the same thing, or similar to the same thing. I'm not going to be too exact here. And then we have 8. We'll highlight. Alright, so I'll be right back with their cash. Wolfie has gotten their additional cash, Snuffy has gotten their additional cash, and Mr. Perfect YouTube has gotten their cash. That is it for today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, it'd be great if you would consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. As of the time of uploading this, I am really close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Every subscriber counts. I appreciate all the support I've gotten in getting here. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next one.